Let me introduce myself. Today, let me introduce myself, my dear students. I am Sri Lakshmi Prasad, Assistant Professor of English, working at Government Degree College, Atmapur, Vanpatti district. Today we are going to learn, it's going to be my third video on parts of speech. Already we have learned nouns, pronouns, and this is going to be prepositions. Verbs and other things we have already discussed in tenses, that's why I have avoided that one. You can see my verbs and tenses video is there already. So today we are going to learn prepositions. So first let us see what is a preposition. Yes. What is a preposition? Preposition is a word placed before a noun or a pronoun to show in what relation the person or thing denoted by it stands in regard to something else. Image is always placed before noun and it connects or it tells a relation between two nouns or two things. Let us see how it is. The word preposition means that which is placed before. Preposition. It is positioned before. Okay. Examples. There is a cow in the field. See where is it? It is before the noun phrase. Noun phrase. The field is noun phrase. It is before the noun phrase. The word in. So what actually in is doing? In shows the relation between two things. That is cow and field. Suppose if it is not there. There is a cow, the field. So the field is not related to cow. Only because of in, the field is related to cow and cow is related to the field. So what it is actually doing? The in shows the relation between two things. That is, cow and the field. Cow and the field. Noun and another noun. So here it is connecting two nouns. Cow is also noun, field is also noun. Let us take another example. He is fond of tea. The word of, again, it is placed before noun, tea. The word of shows relation between the attribute expressed by the adjective. So it is adjective, is fond. Okay, and tea. So adjective and tea. Noun and adjective. So it is connecting noun and adjective, or adjective and noun. It is showing the relation between adjective and noun. In the same way, let us take another example. The cat jumped off the chair. See here, jumped off the chair. So chair, it is once again it is placed before noun. The word off shows the relation between the verb and shows the relation between the verb jump and the chair. So noun and verb. So here it is connecting verb and noun. Just a minute.
It is connecting verb and noun. So here verb is there, here noun is there. So it can connect two things that need not be two nouns alone. It can be adjective and noun, it can be noun and noun, it can be verb and noun. So these are the primary things about preposition. And then let us continue for some more points with some more points. The noun or pronoun which is used with a preposition is called its object. See here, let us see. The cow is in the field. So the field is object of the preposition. It is object of preposition. Actually, suppose I bought a car. I bought a car. Car is the object of the verb. But here it is not, it is not a transitive verb. Here we have intransitive verb. So where is object? It is cow is only complement. So what is field? Field is the object of preposition in the same way, almost all. T is object of. The chair is object of. So they are in accusative. Usually we speak of accusative case in, where transitive verb is there. We speak of suppose I bought a car. Okay, car is in accusative case. Okay. But here, even in prepositional phrase, that is, preposition can be sorry, the noun after preposition can be in accusative case, and it can be objective of the preposition. The noun or pronoun which is used with a preposition is called its object. It is in the accusative case and is said to be governed by the preposition. So how this object is governed? It is governed by the preposition. There is a cow in the field. Field is object of pronoun in. So it is governed by in, and it is in accusative case. A preposition may have two or more objects, and it is not necessary that you should have only one object. It can take even two objects. Like you see, the road runs over hill and plain. So over is here preposition is there. So one object is hill and another object is plain. Two objects are available for the in this sentence. Then a preposition is usually placed before its object, but sometimes it follows it as. So usually I told you preposition, that is always it is a position before noun, that is before object of the preposition. But in some cases it can be otherwise also. It can be at the end also. See here, here is a watch that you asked for. So there is no object here. You asked for what? You asked for the watch. So here watch is object, it is here. Okay, it is in the middle. When we use relative pronoun, so when do we use like this structure means, when we use relative pronoun, that here that is there, so that is the object of watch. Okay, the preposition is always placed at the end. Preposition is always placed at the end. See, in the same way, that is the boy whom I was speaking of. See here again, of is at the end of the sentence. There is no object, there is no noun or pronoun after the preposition. What are you looking at? See here once again. So the preposition is often, that is when relative pronoun is there, we use a preposition at the end of the sentence. In the same way, when the object is in interrogative pronoun, when we use interrogative pronoun like what, which, what are you looking at, what are you thinking of, which of these chairs did you sit on, the preposition is often placed at the end when the object is an interrogative pronoun. The object is interrogative pronoun. So what are you looking at? So we don't know. For example, it may be mirror, it may be a car. I am looking at the mirror. So mirror is not there. Mirror is used here relative pronoun. Okay, that is interrogative pronoun. So when such interrogative pronouns are used, we use preposition at the end of the sentence, but not always. Suppose who are you? We don't have any preposition. Okay, it should be the answer. I am looking at the car. Okay, I am looking at a car. I am looking at a dog. So dog, there is no, we are asking a question about that one. What are you looking at? Only in that cases only we use preposition at the end of the sentence. Then the preposition for, from, in, on are often omitted before nouns of place or time as. Sometimes these prepositions are omitted. Okay, so you don't need to use them. It is quite understood that it is there. Okay, we did it last week. Actually, it should be we did it in last week. Okay, but in is not, in is omitted here. We did it last week is enough. I cannot walk a yard. I cannot walk for a word, for a yard. So far is omitted here. Wait for a minute. So even far is omitted here. Like that, in some cases only we can omit, particularly see far, from, in, on. These four are often omitted before nouns of place or type. Nouns of place or time. Okay, like the places or time. Okay, when they are used as noun, they are omitted. We did it last week. Here last week is used as a noun. Okay, actually it is adverb. I cannot walk a yard. See, yard, for a yard. So here place. Okay, place is there, so we have omitted. Minute, time is omitted. Then we have kinds of prepositions. Okay, there are actually three kinds of prepositions. First one is simple preposition, compound preposition, and one more is there, phrase prepositions. Okay, let us see these basic prepositions. Simple prepositions means no, at, by, for, from, in, of, on, out, through, till, to, up, with. These are just single basic pronouns, we can call them. These are prepositions we call simple prepositions. Then compound prepositions means they are made up with maybe prefix, okay, usually prefixes. By adding something to the preposition or sometimes even adjective, sometimes even adverb, we make prepositions generally found by prefixing a preposition. Usually A means no, B means by, beside, for example, by the side. To a noun, it can be a noun, it can be adjective or an adverb. So by adding them, we make noun, adjective, adverb to prepositions. These are some examples. About, about, these are archaic words. Okay, there is no word called about. Don't say that. There some archaic words are there. Afar. Okay. Um, beyond, even beyond. Yond is archaic word. Yonder. Yonder means there. Beyond means there. About, above, across. Cross is still is in vogue. We still use cross. It is verb. Cross. Okay. Across. Okay. um, Noun, cross is noun. Along, long, along, amidst, midst, amidst, among, amongst, around, before. See, here A is a prefix. From here we have B. Before, behind, below, beneath, beside, between, beyond, then in, inside, outside. See here, two words are there: inside, outside, underneath, within, without, like that. These are compound, means we are there are two parts brought together and we are making into preposition. These are called compound prepositions. Then we have phrase prepositions. Phrase means, two or three words working as something like, noun. It can work as a noun, it can work as a no, verb, it can work as a adverb, can work as an adjective. In the same way, group of words which can work as a preposition is called a phrase preposition. Group of words used with the force of a single preposition. All one or two or three words, sorry, two or three words, they work as a preposition. Such prepositions, group of words are called phrase prepositions. Here are some examples for you. Okay, in comparison to, see here three words are there. In comparison to, in accordance with, in compliance with, in consequence of, conformably to, in reference to, along with. Here two words are there. On behalf of, in regard to, away from. In the same way, in case of, in spite of, because of, by reason of, instead of, by dint of, in place of, in the event of, by means of, agreeable to, on account of, according to, in course of, owing to, by virtue of, in favor of, with a view to, by way of, in front of, with an eye to, in addition to, in lieu of, with reference to, for the sake of, in order to, like that. These are all these prepositions are called phrase prepositions. Here we have two or three or sometimes even four, maybe words, maybe there is some more phrase prepositions are available. I have no I have brought only few examples. Then participial prepositions. This is another kind. Actually, some grammarians don't list them. Participial prepositions. Okay, they are unique in their kind. Some present participles. You know what present participle is? That is ing forms of the verbs. Okay, ing forms of the verbs. Some present participles of verbs are used absolutely without any noun or pronoun being attached to them. So they don't have any noun, they don't have any pronoun. For all practical purposes, they have become prepositions and are sometimes distinguished a participial prepositions. Participial prepositions. For example, barring accident, the mail will arrive tomorrow. Barring accident, that is apart from accident. So if you don't consider accident, the mail will arrive tomorrow. Concerning yesterday's fire, that means about yesterday's fire. It is working like a preposition. Concerning yesterday's fire. See, ing form. These are all ing forms, actually verbs, but working like a preposition. Concerning yesterday's fight, there are many rumors in the bazaar. Considering the quality, so see here, the 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 accident yesterday's fire become object of this barring and concerning. So it is acting like a preposition. So that's why these parts of speech also, while we were talking about parts of speech in the introductory parts of speech, I told you we cannot judge any word in isolation as one part of speech. It can sometimes be a noun, it can sometimes be a adverb, it can sometimes be even verb. For example, milk. Milk is usually considered as noun. We say, well, what parts of speech is milk, you simply say it is noun, but you can use milk as a verb as well. For example, she is milking cow. She is milking a cow. Suppose if we say here, milk becomes verb. In the same way, many words, they can be used as noun, verb, adverb, and many more possibilities are there. So we have to actually see the sentence, then only decide whether that is a noun, pronoun, verb, adverb, or whatever it may be. So here it is not a verb. It is looking like a verb, but it is acting like a preposition. That's why we are calling participial preposition. Considering the quality, the price is not high. That means taking into the account of quality of some object, the price is not very high. Pending further order. See, pending further order, Mr. Desai will act as headmaster. Regarding your inquiries, we regret to say that at present we are not interested in imitation silk. Okay, here regarding your inquiries, touching this matter, that means with regard to this matter, I have not as yet made up my mind. So this can be a fourth type of preposition. Sometimes many grammarians don't consider it, but still we can consider it as a fourth type of prepositions, but they are rare, but not unusual. Okay, many times we use them, particularly in formal situations. We use this kind of prepositions. Then, one more thing, some prepositions are used as adverbs also. Some prepositions can be used as adverbs also, and we get confused whether it is adverb or preposition. Whenever we see, suppose whenever we see in, we think that it is a preposition, but in some sentences it can be adverb as well. And let us understand where it can be an adverb, where it can be preposition, how we can differentiate them. A word is a pronoun when it governs a noun or pronoun. So a word is a pronoun and it should govern some noun or pronoun. That means it should have an object. It should have an object. If it has no object, then we can consider it as a adverb. Let us see the examples. Suppose about, word about. Go and run about. Run about, there is nothing, no object for this preposition. So actually what it is doing, it is telling something, it is giving some extra information about the verb. So it is adverb. Go and run about. Go and run about. See here, preposition. Don't loiter about the street. See, the street is an object of this preposition. So here it is a preposition. Here it is adverb. So we have to be very careful. Before. I could not come before. I could not come before. There is no object. I could not come before the event. Suppose if we say, I could not come before the event. Then it is preposition. I came the day before yesterday. See here, day before yesterday. So we have object to the preposition. So it is a preposition. But here it is an adverb. Has he come in? Has he come in? So it is actually, modifying verb come. So it is adverb. Is he in his room? See, his room is object of in. Okay, so it is preposition. So we have to be very careful. You have to see whether it has an object or not. If it has an object, then it is a preposition. If it has no object, then it is an adverb. The wheel came off. The wheel came off. See here, off, actually it is telling something about the verb. It is giving some extra information about the verb. Came, where? Off. Came off. So it is an adverb. The driver jumped off the car. See here we have an object to the word off. So it is preposition. Let us move on. Let us move on. So there is no object. Actually it is telling something about move. So it is an adverb. The book lies on the table. See, the table is an object of preposition, so it is a preposition. His father arrived soon after. Soon after. See, after. There is nothing here. Soon again is adverb. After again is also adverb of arrived. Okay, two adverbs. This is intense pair of after. Soon after. This after is adverb of arrived. Arrived after. After a month, he returned. After a month, see, we have a month is object of preposition after. Okay, so this is preposition. Take this parcel over to the post office. So over to the post office. Take this parcel over to the post office. Take this parcel over. Parcel where? Take. Take it over. Take it over. Even though here actually to is preposition. To is preposition, but over is adverb. Here two prepositions are there, so don't get confused. Over is adverb of take, adverb, and it is a modifying verb take. Whereas to is preposition, it is governing the post office. That means the post office is an object of to. Okay, so two prepositions are there, but one is adverb, another one is preposition. He rules over a vast empire. Vast empire. See, this vast empire is the object of over. I have not seen him since. See, there is nothing. Okay, if suppose I have not seen him since yesterday, then it would have been a preposition, but nothing is there. It is adverb. Okay, seen, since, seen. So it is a modifying verb, seen. I have not slept since yesterday. Here we have yesterday is an object of since. So it is preposition. So like that, you have to be very careful and don't get confused. You have to be, you have to see whether the preposition has an object or not. If it has an object, if it is governing some noun or pronoun, then it is preposition. If it is not governing, if it is modifying the verb, then it is adverb. Then other prepositions, some more prepositions for us to consider. Prepositions of place, prepositions of time, prepositions of position. So these are three types of prepositions. Like prepositions of place means to, at, okay, from, away, from, out of, behind. But it is not that always only these prepositions only tell about place. Sometimes they can tell about even place and time. For example, you see at. At can tell about place and even at can tell about time. Okay. I was at the hospital at 9 a.m. So at is time and as well as place. Prepositions of time at, see here once again at is there. On, even on. On can be a time and it can be also position on. For example, you can say, I saw him on Monday. Then it is time. Okay, the book is on the table. Then it is a position. That means in, far, before, after, since, between. These are time prepositions. That means they tell about time. Prepositions of position: on, among, before, behind, in front of. These are positions. That means in relation to something else. Then certain verbs are always followed by particular prepositions. These are very tricky. Not only verbs, even some nouns, even some adjectives, they take only some kind of preposition. For example, see here, agree to. So here STH means something. Okay, something means some object. Agree with, that is someone. So if you are agreeing with some human beings, then you have to say agree with. If you're agreeing with some plan, proposal, then you have to say agree to. Okay, inanimate things means agree to, animate things means agree with. I agree with him. I agree to his proposal. I agree to his plan. Okay, agree to, agree with. See here, nouns, these prepositions agree with, that means they take only certain kinds of prepositions, sorry, nouns or pronouns, and at the same time, verb. Verb also. Agree means whenever agree comes, it can be only to or with. It cannot be anything else. The same way, appeal to a person. Appeal to means it will be only with human beings. Agree for. sorry, appeal for means that can be some help or something like that. Okay. Even higher court, see, appeal to higher court. So court means here it cannot be, it can be inanimate thing, but still it has to be, we have to consider it as an institution. So you appeal to some institution, you appeal to a person, you appeal to something, but appeal for help, appeal for some something like a rescue, something like that. You appeal for, you know, economic assistance, you appeal for assistance, something like that. Appeal against a decision. So government has taken a decision and you appeal against that decision. That means you are requesting them to take back that decision. Apologize for something. See, this something, someone. These are the, you can find it in even dictionary also. STHSONE. Something, someone. Something means it is inanimate thing. Apologize for something. That means you do something and you apologize for your bad behavior, etc. Bring to light, to make something known. See, bring to means for example, light, bring to light, to make something known. So you want to reveal something, so you bring to light. Bring down prices, bring down, see here, bring to light, bring down prices. It cannot be bring down light, it has to be bring to light, bring down prices. Bring out facts, a book. Okay, you have to bring out some facts, you bring out a book, okay, after publishing. Complain to someone, complaint against someone or something. See here, complain to someone, you complain to the headmaster, you complain against your friend, okay, or something. You complain against the facilities in the college. So even see here, it can be someone or something. You have to be very careful. Complain to the higher officials, complain to the police, complain to the headmaster, complain to the principal, and you complain against your neighbor, you complain against your friend, you complain against your roommate or something like that. Sometimes even you can complain against your parents, your teachers, your principal. Even you can complain against your principal to somebody else, some higher authorities. Okay. Then some commonly confused pairs of prepositions. Some prepositions we always get confused, and that prepositions here we are discussing. The pen is in the box. See here, the pen is in the box. He came into the room. What is the difference between in and into? In and into. Actually, both indicate something inside, but in is stative, like, you know, like stative verb. It is stative preposition. That means the object is in state of rest. The object of preposition is in state of rest. Suppose the pen is in the box means the pen is resting in the box. It is not moving. Whereas he came into the room means there is a movement. He came into, he started walking and he came into the room. There is a movement. Whereas there is no movement in case of pen, but there is a movement in case of a person coming into the room. So into indicates movement. So in doesn't indicate movement. Into indicates movement. Like, you know, stative verbs. It is. It can be considered as stative preposition. So there is no movement. Whereas into means there is a movement. In the same way, some more such prepositions are there. He sat on the wall. So it's again like a stative preposition. There is no movement. On refers to things at rest. Okay. The tiger jumped upon the deer. There is a movement. There is a movement. It jumped upon the deer. Upon refers to things in motion. He lives in Hyderabad. Okay. He lives at Madhapur. See here, what is the difference between in and at? In, you know, refers to a large area, large big city, or a country, or it can be a state. I am in Telangana. I am in India. Something like that. It should be big one. In is used with the names of countries, states, even districts. Okay, a big town. Okay, something like that. And area within that big area can be used as at. He lives at Madhapur in Hyderabad. So Madhapur is a small area in big city. Okay, at is used with the names of locations, that is local names. My house is by the market. Okay, here three words are there. My house is by the market. My house is beside the market. Near my house there is a theater besides a market. Beside, okay, by, beside, besides. By means it is near. By means near. Okay, my house is by the market. Okay, that is near. Sometimes even beside also it can be. My house is beside the market. Beside means just beside. It's adjacent to market. Okay. By means it can be near. My house is by the college. That means it is very close to the college. Near my house there is a theater. Near my house there is a theater. Besides a market. So there are two things are there. Near my house, sir, two things are there. One is theater and another one is market. So not only but also like that. Okay. Besides means in addition to. That means in addition to theater, there is a market near my house. There is a market near my face. So in order to say in addition to, we use besides. Besides means it is not side, beside. It is not beside or by the side of. In addition to the theater, we have a market. That is the main difference. And so many questions will come in the examination, particularly competitive examinations. This type of questions, they come, and you have to be thoroughly aware of these things. Then only you can get very good marks in competitive exams, general English. The match is between India and Pakistan. See, between, there are two things. What are the two things? India, Pakistan. It can be Rama, Krishna. There is a fight between Rama and Krishna. There is a talk between Rama and Krishna. Okay, something. Between means two things. Okay, two persons, two objects. Okay, between is used to two things or people. It can be two things or two people. The World Cup will be played among 16 teams, but here two things are not there. Here, how many things are there? 16 teams. That means 16 things are there. That means more than two. If more than two is there, then we use among. There is a fight among the three friends. There is a fight between the two friends. Two persons means between. More than two means among. Among is used to refer to more than two people, groups, things, whatever it may be. If it is more than two, then we use among. If it is two, we use between. So these are some prepositions where we get confused. Then some exercises are there. Let us see carefully. Okay. Sometimes it can be confusing and sometimes it can be very easy. The principal presided dash the meeting. See, whenever presided comes, I told you some verbs take some prepositions only. Okay, this is one such a case. Presided over. Presided, whenever you see presided, it should be presided over. Okay. The same way, the report dealt dash the academic activities of the college. In the same way, deal with, deal in. Deal in is also there, deal with is also there, but different meaning. But this, in this context, the report dealt with, the report dealt with the academic activities of the, that is dealt with something, dealt with something. Dealing with someone, sometimes dealing with someone also is possible. The principal thanked the students dash their cooperation, even thanked. After thank, we use for. Thanked the students for their cooperation. Okay, thanked them for their cooperation. The chief guest congratulated the students on their performance. See, congratulated many times, we get confused. Congratulated the students for their performance, we say. Not for, it is on. Congratulated on. Okay, congratulated on. Whenever congratulated comes, you have to use on, not for, not for. He said that the secret of success lies in hard work. Even after secret, we use of. Okay, not for success, secret for success. Sometimes some students, they get confused. They use for instead of. Whenever secret is there, we have to use of. He advised the staff not to quarrel dash themselves. See, staff means usually it is more than two. Otherwise, we use two. Staff means usually it will be more than two. It may be some 10 to 15, sometimes 20, 30. So it should be among, not between. Then it would be wrong, he said, to complain against each other. See, we told you complain to, complaint against, okay, complaint on, even complain on is also possible, but different. Here, it would be wrong, he said, to complain against each other. Each other is there, so we have to use against, complain against each other. See, two things. I told you some verbs, some prepositions, some nouns also take a particular preposition against each other. he pointed out that it actually each other is a preposition, sorry, pronoun. He pointed out that students depend on them. Depend means on only. Okay, depending on them, depending on my parents, depending on my teachers, something like that. So depend means on, it will come. Then uh, after a brief speech, the chief guest gave away the prizes. After a brief speech, the chief guest gave away the prizes, and it is also easy. There is no confusion as such. Then some more. Now we have come to the common errors, particularly in relation to the prepositions. Let us see how we do mistakes. Common errors. Common errors means everybody does the mistake, and we have to learn them separately so that we avoid such mistakes while we speak or while we write. Okay, he picked up a fight with me. See here, it is almost, everybody uses. He picked up a fight with me. Okay, it looks like correct sentence. Actually, it's not he picked up. He picked a fight with me. He picked a fight with me. Pick means sudden, aggressively, wantedly, you fight with someone. Okay, he picked a fight. Picked a fight is a prepositional phrase. Prepositional phrase. He picked a fight with me. I ordered for a coffee. Don't use for a coffee. I ordered a cup of coffee, or simply you can say I ordered coffee. Two possible corrections are there. I ordered a cup of coffee, or I ordered coffee, but not for. For you should avoid. He replied me in the negative. Again here, see, he replied in the negative. That's all. Not, there is no object is necessary. He replied in the negative. He replied me. No. Then he is unable to move from bed. He is unable to move from bed. This sentence looks like exactly perfect correct English. Okay, he is unable to move from bed. But move has to have some object. Okay, move out from bed. Move out from bed. Okay, or move away from bed. Something should be there. Okay, after move, there should be some preposition. Okay, he is unable to move out from bed, move away from bed, or move into the bed, move into the bed, or move his body. Okay, move his body from the bed. Some object should be there. Okay, so here I have chosen move out from bed, but there are many possibilities for correction. They were talking something. They were talking about something. You should have preposition here. They were talking about something. Okay, this paper is inferior than that. Whenever there is inferior, superior, junior, senior, these words are there, you don't use than. You have to use that. This paper is inferior to that. This paper is superior to that. He is senior to him. He is junior to him. Okay, all possibilities are there. You have to be very careful. And these questions, on this type of questions are very common in examinations. Then everyone should pray God. We should pray to God, not pray God. Pray to God. He will be cured from his fever, not cured from, cured of his fever. Because from his fever doesn't come and cure. Okay. Cured of his fever. Cured of his fever. Write the answers with think. And this is very common question. Okay. Almost every exam carries this type of question. Write the answers in ink, not with ink. Okay, I don't know why they should use in, but there is a rule. Okay, you have to use in ink. So whenever ink is there, you use in ink, not with ink, because it is not an instrument. Usually with is used. Suppose I cut the cake with the knife. Knife is a tool, whereas ink is not a tool. Okay, ink is some substance. Ink is some. Suppose if it is pen, it's okay. I'm writing with the pen. Pen is a tool, but ink is not a tool. Ink is not a tool. So if it is a tool, then we can use with. If it is not a tool, then you have to use in. Okay, that the differentiation you have to understand. This is comfortable house to live. In should be added. Okay, not live. To live in. House is for living in. not to live. So this is comfortable house to live in. This building is built by bricks, not by bricks, by mason. Okay. This building is built by mason of bricks. So it's built of bricks. Okay. Usually material. Material is always preceded by of, not by. By means person or by tool. Okay. But not bricks. This building is built of bricks. I shall inform them this. I shall inform this, not them. I shall inform this to them. I shall inform this to them. Okay, this is the correct usage. Next, let us go to the next one. Here are some more exam, some more, you know, exercise. Here we have some preposition, phrase prepositions are there, and we have to use them correctly. We have to fill the gaps correctly. Let us see in case of. These are very common prepositions. Instead of, in addition to, on behalf of, in any way, out of, in spite of, according to, in favor of, on the whole. Okay, these are all phrase prepositions. Now let us see how we can use them correctly. I gave a presentation on dash of all my classmates, on behalf of all my classmates, on behalf of all my classmates. Dash, it was a pretty good film. On the whole, it was a pretty good film. He withdrew his application dash his rival, in favor of his rival, in favor of his, that means he is favoring his rival. Dash the heat, we all work during summer, in spite of the heat, in spite of the heat, we all work during summer. Dash a fire, exit from the rear window, in case of a fire, in case of a fire, exit from the rear window. Then continuation to the previous slide. Can I help you dash in any way? Can I help you in any way? I would rather have water dash a soft drink instead of a soft drink. I would rather have water instead of a soft drink. We all have to work dash government rules. We have to work according to government rules. He opened the attachment out of curiosity. Out of curiosity. Dash the crew. There were 60 passengers on the flight. In addition to the crew. Crew means those who work on the flight or on the ship. Okay, they are employees. Okay, but there's a 60 passengers, so we pay and get into the plane, and they get into the plane and get the payment. Okay, those who get the payment are called crew. Those who work for the passengers, they are called crew. Okay, in addition to the crew, there were 60 passengers on the flight. Okay, I hope I have made some things, I try to explain some things about the prepositions, but these are not enough. You have to practice some more exercises, then only you will get clarification. I hope you have liked this video. If you like my video, please like it and subscribe it and share it to your friends. Thank you very much.